However, is it counterproductive where you're using money that you don't have, number one, to do the thing? Because this 500 billion shillings is not sitting in a bank. It's not sitting somewhere in an account. It's going to be borrowed if it has not already been.
Right.
Is it counterproductive to use money that essentially is not going to make a return on investment for something that you're not even sure is going to work? And this is not speculation. You've talked about the fact that we had a railway that cost 1 trillion shilling and we've not made ROI yet. Kenya has not made ROI on a 1 trillion shilling investment. How many years ago now?
Is it 9?
9 years now, almost 10 years?
Right.
That hasn't happened yet. But then it's almost like pie in the sky theory where you imagine there's something great up there somewhere, but you can't land this thing just yet. Are the wrong decisions being made? Because that's the direction that we have to go into. It may be good, but is it right? Those are two totally different things. Is it good? It could be good, but is it right? From an economic perspective, let's use that as a caveat.
Okay.
From an economic perspective,
No, you've challenged me, and I like that because on one hand, yes, I believe that the SGR completing to Malaba will be productive and will give us ROI. In fact, I am sure that if then we connected it to Malaba or into Uganda, the transporters that are shy of clearing their cargo in Nairobi or in Naivasha ICD and have rather opted to take a truck from Mombasa to Kampala or Mombasa to DRC would be more comfortable then just putting their cargo on the SGR and picking it at the border. It helps because that means you don't have to get licensing for your trucks moving from Uganda into Kenya. You just need to ensure that you clear your goods in Kampala. And so that means that with the new project completed, we should see more traffic on the SGR. We should see it then start to make real money as opposed to where it is today. It is also evident that this is not wishful thinking because we have a significant trade happening with Uganda. We have trade happening with DRC. We have trade happening with Rwanda. And if you combine all that, then you're looking at a place where, a comfortable place where you can say, we'll get there. In 2 years' time, I mean, just that trade should be able to take care of the cost of the SGR.
So the demand,
Just allow me.
Look, please.
But then again, you've also raised the question of ROI and learning from history. And my concern, however, is that question is targeted at, is it right for us to have the SGR? And that is that's the conversation that I was trying to discourage the country from.
Okay. Why?
The conversation I would want the country to have is it right for us to entertain misgovernance or to entertain inflated projects in the country? So that then we move the conversation from necessity. Because then it's a convoluted conversation that has no end. And we move the conversation to the whole question of governance as regards infrastructure, as regards our projects as a country. Because that is the real question. If we get our infrastructure projects done at the right rate, then we would not struggle with heavy debt. We would not struggle with the ROI. You understand? It makes sense. You borrow for it, you do it, in a few years' time, you're good to go. That is the conversation we need to have, as opposed to, is it necessary? When it is necessary.
Legally speaking, if we are unsatisfied or dissatisfied as Kenyans with the costing of a project such as this one, SGR, and many others, what would be our legal channels. How do we go about, because it's a value for money, that is one. Whether it is PPP, whether it is a debt, it is our money.
Absolutely.
What would be our sources of seeking refuge or remedial measures that we can apply? Because this is not the first time we're having such a project. We've had this before. Kevin says very openly that the documents were not publicized, much as they're supposed to be public documents. We don't have a proper audit of the project. So what positions can we assume in trying to make sure that we get the good project, as Ndu says, but in the right manner? Yeah.
Well, and you've started that conversation with legal, and legal recourse. And legal recourse requires evidence. Evidence is now what he was discussing and I was discussing, that it's very difficult to hold the government accountable when you do not have documents. And that is what the drafters of the Constitution anticipated and said, no, we want access to information. And so the Access to Information Act was devised. So that then, with that information, you ask yourself, okay, is there value for money as regards this project, or there is no value for money? And if there is no value for money, then you have the opportunity to pursue legal recourse, or to accept where it is and pursue advocacy, or just have a discussion with government. I think